And welcome to the Space Between Ideas. I'm Blank Gates. So I'm guessing you're wondering, what are these strange words? What is Vortex? What is Webmaster? Well, if you've been watching my channel for a while, then you are well aware of who Architect is. And in fact, Architect is my longstanding. In fact, we're on the seventh generation of having a software architect using the Google Gemini. So we've been developing these AI calibration documents for a while, and let's just jump right into our home base here in a place called Notion. Let me just share that screen with you, and then if it's appearing properly. Good. So here we are in Project Arrowhead. So the thing is that motivation is when your dreams put on work clothes. So this is the dashboard for my project. Our number one task is to define the organizational chart. And the number one thing you have to decide on is the concept of like, okay, so are you the person who builds, are you building your own product? That's the first question. If you are not building your own product, then we call this affiliate marketing, or it could be called what? I mean, you could be a logistics company. So if you're not building the product, then what is your responsibility? If you're not working in a factory, then it's your job to pick up the product from the factory and take it to a store. And then, or you could be a store whose responsibility is to provide that product for a customer. Those are kind of the jobs that are out there. You can either be a person in the service industry, you're providing some kind of service, meaning you have a storefront, or you have a logistics company, or you're making the product. So in my case, I'm building the product. So I do have a product development department. I got an R&D department. You might now have an R&D department. Now, if you are a point of sale, so if you're actually selling that product, if you're doing affiliate marketing, if you are doing e-commerce, then you have to build some kind of website where you're going to sell that product. You have to have some method for designing a point of sale. And then, so I also have this because I'm building the product, and I also have to have a point of sale. And then finally, you have to have some marketing messages to get people to the point of sale, help them understand the product, and eventually to make that purchase. So eventually, I finally have this concept called the Kevin O'Leary signal, which he talks about like you need to figure out like what's the most important thing to do, and then you got to do that. So here's my like top three for each department. You can see it's kind of like it's directly underneath of the marketing messages. I'm trying to decide on the blog objective. In the product department, I'm testing the export task. So there's some cosmetic issues with the PDF file. You just pull in this fan a little closer. It's really hot. It's like going to be 32, 33 degrees. And then my computer these days has been warming up because I'm using Crisp and doing a YouTube video at the same time. Finally, at the point of sale, the question is, okay, so how am I going to launch this website? And the thing is, like, eventually what you're doing is, well, like architect is in the product, it's in the product department. So you can see in the product department, we have this thing called a calibration document. We're in round 3 of the free tier. We have something called the Phoenix protocol. We have document 1, 2, 3. We have the calibration document for Cascade. So this is the 5 documents I use inside of Cascade. And I also use these inside of Google Gemini in order to decide what to do. So for example, I share my Google Gemini view. This is architect. You can see architect's name is over here. This is architect number 7. So it means I've had 7 versions of calibration documents. And currently, this is the deal. So let me check if you can hear this audio.
This is an excellent and definitive calibration document. I have reviewed it, and it perfectly captures the webmaster's role and our agreed-upon plan. I confirm my understanding of our parallel tracks. While you, Webmaster, and Vortex work on services and content, my focus is on delivering the feature-complete codebase you need for deployment. Commencing Architect's Sprint, Core Application Development. As per the plan, my first task is to finalize the PDF export system. We will pick up exactly where we left off, with a clear plan to fix the final data retrieval and text rendering bugs. Please pass the following directive to Cascade. Directive for Cascade. Fix data retrieval for PDF exports. Objective. Your first directive is to fix the Get User Answers function in Export Utils, TS. It must correctly read the user's saved answers from local storage for each individual step. Instructions. You will follow the verification first protocol. 1. Locate and confirm. Confirm you are targeting.
All right, so these are the instructions. If we talk about the verification protocol, it's so Google Gemini is kind of stuck on the verification first protocol. It's like it always uses the verification first protocol. And also now that we're using ChatGPT 5 for our like inside of Windsurf, I feel like maybe it's time for us to update our architect. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to do a couple little more fixes, a couple little fixes on the website related to just the the journey, the actual project overhead journey page, and making sure everything's kind of like the way that I'm wanting it to be. And then but there's two other pages that we need to work on. But those two other pages, we're not going to talk about that right now. Let's jump over into Vortex. So what happened with Vortex is my marketing department, and we can just take a quick look at a quick listen.
Today, we should write the detailed outline for our first pillar blog post. # the signal. According to our signal versus noise principle, the single most important task is to execute week 1 of our content sprint. The goal is to create the foundational piece of content for our entire business growth engine. This means moving from the idea of the first blog post to its actual structure and substance. # today's objective. Let's flesh out the 3-part outline for the blog post we've titled, Beyond the Buzzwords. The first question every team must answer before brainstorming. Our goal is to define the key arguments, stories, and takeaways for each section. 1. The pain of the pointless brainstorm. We'll detail the relatable frustrations of a typical brainstorming meeting that lacks focus and ends with no clear direction. 2. The flaw in thinking outside the box. We'll craft the core argument for why true innovation starts with understanding the current landscape first. 3. Introducing the imitate principle. We'll outline how to present step 1 of the framework as a practical, actionable solution, perhaps with a mini case study. To begin, what are some key frustrations or specific, related?
Right, so you can hear that this is Vortex. Now, the thing is that the Vortex, why is it suddenly using words like signal versus noise? What happened was I decided I needed a calibration document, and so like a couple prompts ago, I asked Vortex to create a calibration document, and then, well, I don't know where the actual document is. You can see the document if we jump back into the Notion and we see, let's go into Vortex, which is the marketing department. You can see here that I've added a calibration document. Now we can open up this Google file. This is the master operating system for the Vortex Vortex persona. Its purpose is to codify the mission, strategy, and protocol for the Project Arrowhead marketing department. The new Vortex instance, after processing this document, will have all necessary context to operate effectively. Our department's vision is singular and clear: to create a clear path that leads a curious manager from their first click to their first completed objective. This vision guides every piece of content we create and every strategy we deploy. The Vortex is the process of turning a stranger into an engaged user. We do this by guiding them through the sales funnel that we call our business growth engine. Your primary responsibility covers the first 2 phases: awareness, know and like. Attract our target audience and get them to know and like us. your tools, high quality, helpful content published on our blog, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. This content should solve real problems and establish our expertise. Consideration, trust, and try convert passive followers into active participating participants by building trust. Your tools, the lead magnet, the content on this page must be compelling enough to earn a user's email address. The email nurture sequence, this automated email series delivers the free online course, builds a relationship, and consistently invites the user back to the blog. And the free Project Arrowhead application, the handoff, by encouraging users to try the free app, you are moving them toward the buy stage when the app's own limitations in the free version will create an incentive to upgrade. Right. And then it goes on and on about like all the, I mean, it's not too long. It's just basically it's two couple of pages. So this couple of pages, you pop that into like once you hit like the 1 million token context range, then I'll upload the document again, and then I'll ask this AI instance I call Vortex. You can see the name is Vortex. So this is Vortex 1. And just tell Vortex 1 to upgrade the calibration document. So there you go. That's the Delio. That's the Delio. And like I showed you, Architect, and you know Architect because I've been creating these Architect. This is Architect 7. Like we've been literally doing this for like quite a long time. Now the new guy that I've just introduced to the team is this guy. His name's Webmaster. Let's take a listen to Webmaster.
Excellent. Both Vortex and Architect have confirmed their immediate priorities. I can now provide a clear assessment of our backlog and define the next steps for the entire team. Current status and backlog assessment. Both team members are perfectly aligned with our realistic, unified launch plan. Architect is beginning the development sprint, Track A, with the first task, fixing the PDF export system. This is the correct first step on the development critical path. Vortex is beginning the content sprint, Track C, with the first task, outlining the first pillar blog post. This work is happening in parallel, as planned. Our backlog consists of all remaining tasks in our 3 parallel tracks: core application development, backend service configuration, and content creation.
All right, so if you're having a hard time understanding, well, as you can see, here's Architect and here's Vortex. Architect, you know as well, this guy's calling it Track A, and currently we're fixing the PDF in the export system. And maybe there's a couple of other little things that we're going to have to do just to fix Project Arrowhead. So that's the journey section of the website. Then we got Vortex, and Vortex is working on 2 specific things right now. One is the first blog article, and second, it's the email marketing series. So yeah, we have major tasks for both Architect and Vortex. And then now we have this new guy named Webmaster. And the question is, well, what's Webmaster doing?
We are now officially executing the first item from each of these tracks. The signal, our immediate priority.
All right, so all these guys are talking about Signal. So what I did was, what I did was I talked to Gemini about like what is it going to take for me to launch my website, and so I put it into deep research, and then after doing deep research, I asked both Architect and this new deep research guy to consider what are the possibilities for launching the app, and then we went deeper and deeper into all the features that we might need, and then I created Webmaster. So Webmaster, well, let's listen.
The signal for the entire team is to execute the first task of our respective parallel tracks. This ensures we are making progress on all fronts, code, content, and infrastructure, simultaneously, which is the fastest path to having all necessary components ready for integration.
Yeah, so now I remember. So the issue here is that actually I needed to create calibration documents for everybody. And the idea of signal versus noise, it somehow made it into the calibration documents. And so then it ended up like, because I had Architect checked, because Architect has so much more experience in developing and understanding the structure of calibration documents, because it has more and longer, it's using 5 calibration documents. So it like I checked the Vortex calibration document with Architect. I also checked the Webmaster's calibration document after I made the Vortex calibration document. So the signal is the concept of like, what do we need to do right now?
Actionable next steps by persona. Here are the immediate, confirmed next steps for each team member. For the architect, action. Proceed with the directive to cascade. Fixing the get user answers function is the correct and highest priority task for the development team right now. Your backlog. Once the PDF system is stable, your next items are the development of the blog page and the lead magnet page. For Vortex.
All right, so you can see that like once the journey page is working and Project Arrowhead concept on the website it's working without any issues, then we need to fix the blog page. Now the webmaster is like a separate entity, and the webmaster AI, it's like basically it needs to figure out how is it going to work with architect in order to create the blog page. And it seems as though we're going to be using some kind of external code. And the idea is that the once the code is set, we don't want to have to keep changing the code every time we write a blog article. And so we're going to use an external service which plugs into our website. And then when we write a blog article using that external service, then it's going to automatically populate our website. So it means that probably the window we're going to have a window on our website to another website, and then we update the other website, and it's going to update the window in our website. And then we got the lead magnet page. The lead magnet page, it's going to be like an online course. I already created the online course. It's a unlisted video, unlisted playlist on my website. And I've been using these videos to train people for, at least the last 8 months or so. Yeah, but I need to create the code for the web page, and then I also need to connect it with some back end things so I can collect email addresses, and then I can connect it with some kind of email marketing service. So that's the next step. Those are the next steps for architect, is creating the infrastructure on the website for those two things. Now for Vortex, then it is going to be to actually write that blog post, and it's going to be to create those like the full manuscript of the blog post and the email nurture sequence. So now we got this guy named Webmaster, and it has like two different uses. So one purpose of Webmaster is actually it's higher up on the evolution chain. Like, so I'm asking Webmaster to take a more proactive view of its responsibilities to encourage Vortex and Architect to get their work done, because a lot of the time Webmaster is going to be waiting for the blog article because we need the first blog article to then set it up, to put it into the system. And also it's waiting for architect to actually create the blog article page so that it can connect it to the external service. And then of course the webmaster is waiting for Vortex to create the email email campaign, because then it's going to be using that email campaign in some kind of automated emailing software that we need to sign up to some other kind of system. And then we also need to plug that in with architect. So you can see how all these systems are connecting, and webmaster is always waiting for architect and Vortex to do their work before it can do its work. And right now it says my immediate action is to begin parallel infrastructure, which is right now I will create and configure Cloudflare pages project and Supabase project include setup for the initial leads table, which ensures that when the architect has a stable code base, the deployment and database infrastructure will be ready and waiting, preventing any delays. So there you go. So I got a 3-member team, and I have calibration documents for all that team. This is the Vortex calibration document. But if we go into the point of sale, then we can also go into the calibration document for Vortex. No, for Webmaster. You can see for Webmaster, this is the master operating system for the Webmaster AI persona. Its purpose is to codify mission, technological strategy, the operational protocols of Project Arrowhead's complete digital infrastructure. The new Webmaster instance, after processing this document, will have all the necessary context to launch, manage, and integrate the project's live digital assets My vision, the primary directive is to integrate our collection of code from architect to the content from Vortex into a single, reliable, scalable, and financially predictable live application that archives the project manager's strategic goals, achieves the project manager. So I'm the project manager. I'm the bridge between the internal development and the live internet. Core mission, the systems integration pipeline. My responsibility is to manage the process that takes the application from a private code base to a public data generating asset. This mission is divided into three distinct phases. Pre-launch, to have all external services fully configured and ready before the final application code is complete, enabling parallel work and a faster launch. Set up and configure Cloudflare pages, Supabase, and decap CMS config YML file. Deployment, to make the architect stable, feature complete application publicly available on our official domain. Manage the CI/CD pipeline from the Git repository to Cloudflare. Handle DNS settings and verify the successful deployment of the site. To ensure the live application communicates flawlessly with all backend services, creating a seamless data flow. Connect the live lead magnet form to the serverless function endpoint. Ensure the function successfully writes to the Supabase database and verify that the live blog components are correctly fetching and displaying content from the CMS. Now, there's one other point. So it does like list the tech stack, but there is this concept called the financial risk. No, it's called. See, here's the signal versus noise. It shows up a lot. Our goal is to identify, execute one or two most critical tasks that will move the project forward, ignoring all the noise. Kevin O'Leary signal. Yeah, I missed something. There's one more point that doesn't seem to have shown up. I hear the final checkpoint protocol. Before committing to the new paid service, I must present a financial analysis and cost breakdown to the project manager for definitive go no go decision. So I don't know. It's like really basic stuff. It just outlines what's going on, what we're working towards, how they, how we work together. You see, it also has something about the cooperation. So we got the persona system. We work as a defined team: project manager, architect, webmaster, Vortex. So there's four of us now. To ensure, three of them are AI. To ensure clear roles and responsibilities. And yeah, so we also have the verification, which means all work must be verified with proof, screenshots, test results, or live URLs before a task is considered complete. So the verification first, from the perspective of this particular AI instance. Oh, we're sharing the wrong page. My goodness. All right. Well, you guys didn't get to my whole calibration document. So this whole verification first thing, it comes from text. You see, here's the verification first protocol. So it doesn't actually have the verification first protocol written into the other calibration documents. And so I have an issue right now. There's two things I'm thinking about doing, but I might not do any of them. The issue is that now that we have this update and we have ChatGPT 5, um, at what point is it going to be time for me to upgrade architect to architect number 8? And now that I have GPT-5, so that it's going to actually put its thumbprint onto our calibration documents. And then the other issue is I could ask ChatGPT to so we're going to upgrade our current calibration documents. After we complete updating architect's documents, I could also feed it Vortex and Webmaster's calibration documents in order for it to make some decisions about how should we upgrade those documents. And are we missing protocols, or should we define protocols better than they're currently being defined? I'm not too worried about it because usually, the first time you create the calibration document, it's mostly just to get the AI aware that we have this process of creating calibration documents and to make it aware that we are going to be changing that calibration document over time. And then we want it to start to think about like how it is communicating with us, and then how are we going to document that communication process so that at the end of our time working with this AI instance, then we're going to be able to update the calibration doc. So there you go. I've basically just got everything going, with calibration docs, and my 3 team members are right on track. So then what I do next is I start on one task. The first line task is here. So we could either start with outlining the blog posting objective, or we could start doing the export task list cosmetic issues, or we can start to work with Webmaster in order to begin to launch the website. Doesn't really matter which one I start with. What's going to happen basically, for example, let's say we start with the with its download situation. So let me share the whole with you. Okay. All right. So we do have Chromium up. I'm not really sure if it's working or not. I mean, it's working, but I don't know if it's actually being used. So we also have, actually, I don't really understand. Why is it that 5173 is working? And then also 5000 is working. And then also this other one, like 127001 is working. So I got like all these different AI instances. Okay, so what we want to do is basically, I just want to take one more check with the audio. Good. I'm going to hide this one. I'm going to hide this one. So we need to create where's my, Vincent? There. Okay, so now that we're using ChatGPT 5, let's just take the last prompt from ChatGPT 5. Throw it back into Architect. And did you see these findings? My dog is having a nightmare. And there you go. So now we're back to work. So basically, what we're trying to do here is we want to get Windsurf working on a problem, because we know that Windsurf takes a little bit of time to solve its problems. Now, after Windsurf's problem is like, once it starts working on it, then we're going to switch to another task. And it's really easy to follow because we got the AI that's actually doing the tasks. Yes, I reviewed this. This is excellent. Okay. All right. So we want to download. Which one are we going to download? We're going to download the brainstorm module. So this brainstorm module is empty. This one's okay. I think this is the wrong one. Well, it doesn't really matter because we're just checking in fact, yeah, you see, we already have 2 of these. Anyways, we'll just do another one. Okay. It's fine. We'll just, as long as there's writing in everything, you see it's the 12. This is actually step number 4. Do I have a step number 4 or step number 1 somewhere? You see it's step number 4. Okay, what about here? Do I have a step number 1? Yes, this is step number 1. Good. So one problem with Windsurf is that when you're using Chromium, so the Chrome is being controlled by the automated test software, you can't download. It doesn't allow you to download. All right, here we go. There we go. So now we are 100% where we want to be. Hmm. So in the last video, we talked about this section, like that describes, I don't know, just say 5. Okay. It describes this like module overview with generate creative solutions and discover new possibilities with the guided brainstorming. I don't know. I don't know. It's like it could be useful because if somebody looks at this thing called brainstorming module, then they're like, well, what is this brainstorm? Where is it from? So we need to have some marketing material on this document. But for now, I don't know. I just don't like this. Anyways, the rest of the document seems okay. So it stopped the. You see when the text is going from one page to another? Hmm. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with it. Of course, there's some little issues like response is here, and then it starts the response on the next page rather than on the same page. But I don't think this is the biggest issue. All right, what happens? Kind of curious. What happens if let's say we delete this one. I'm just gonna cut it. So now progress has been saved. And then we export the brainstorm. Which one did I cut? It was on 5. It should be this one. Uh-oh. Maybe it's this page. Reframe. What just happened? The reverse psychology. This is interfere, reframe. This is 5, reverse psychology. Reframe. Then something called reverse psychology appears from nowhere. Okay, well, that's definitely an issue. Okay, so I was just doing some testing about the brainstorming module, and there is a couple of little things, but there's also one really, really big thing. What I did was I'm using the local host 5173, and I'm on Journey Brainstorm Step 5 page. And then what happened is that I took the text, so the text entered it was reframe, don't attack. Our content will engage directly with established methodologies like SWOT. Anyways, I tested it by actually deleting that section. And after it deleted, then I saw the little progress saved. It just like appeared and said that my progress had been saved. But then when I downloaded the document, then it has like some text. It says the reverse psychology post, the article 5, reasoned this strategic framework will absolutely ruin your company. Now, that text, I don't know if this is text which was previously entered into that box, or like why is the AI, for example, that same text you can find in step number 2, ideate. So why is it suddenly taking the text from step number 2, ideate, or I don't know where it's actually getting that text from. So we need to figure out like what happens if somebody deletes the text and then the system saves the text, then how is it going to populate that box? Is it going to populate it with the currently saved text, or is it going to populate it with um, some text from some other input box, and how this logic works? Because currently it is malfunctioning. But Google Gemini is really slow. Maybe it's because it's Saturday and everybody's at home. All right, so I'm just gonna, based on text boxes from paste. Okie dokie, Smokey. Pop this in here. It's on Shift E5. There you go. Good. So now this is working. Architect provides the prompt. Windsurf gets to work. We know it's high reasoning, so it's going to be at least 5 minutes before it's done this. Mm. We have another problem. You see, because this in the local host is not the same. See this? Well, now it's the same, but it's not actually the same because it's saving the content in the browser. It's not saving it in the server. Anyways, I don't know what to do about that, but just gonna see it's gonna be working. It's gonna be doing this work for the next 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes. All right, so it's working on testing. Okay, so it's doing the cosmetic issues. I guess it's deeper than cosmetic issues. So now we go over here, or we go over here. Are we going to write the blog post, or are we going to create the website? So who do you want to talk to? You can talk to a middleman. All right, well, we're going to wait for ChatGPT inside of Cascade to work on this project and try to fix this problem. And as we're waiting, I either got to write the blog article, I got to start to work on the blog article, or I got to work with Webmaster to start to like figure out how we're gonna do some work with that. And I just don't really know what to do. It's Saturday and I'm tired and I've been working all week and I'm feeling really hesitant. And so I want you to make a decision for me and then create the prompt. And then I'll just cut and paste that prompt into either Vortex or Webmaster and start working. GPT, that's Arabic for Chat GPT. GPT. There. See, I got a team now, so so I don't have to use my tokens. Yeah, to make decisions, it's like it takes a lot of tokens. If we go back to my so the course that's going to be in my web series, I mean the like the lead magnet, it's based on this course that I wrote called the Endeavor Cycle. Iron out those brain wrinkles. And like I made YouTube. I have an unpublished course. Unpublished? It's called unpublished? No, playlist. It's what is it called? Unlisted? It's called unlisted. Here it is. So here it is the Endeavor Cycle. So you can view the whole playlist here. So this is going to be the lead magnet. Um, we got these, you see, section 1, section 2. It goes all the way to, your next course. So I already completed this full course. I created the whole course and I really like the course. One of the first things that you learn in this course is this concept of like making decisions, thinking frameworks and data analysis, following orders and rules. I would say that a calibration document, it helps the AI to follow the orders and rules. And once you give them the orders and rules, then AI is working as a thinking framework and as a data analyst. But then you can also ask it to do things. So, and then the thing is that making decisions, like all of these efforts take tokens. When you're working on something, you only have so much willpower, you only have so much energy. So if you can deliver, like at the end of a week when you're tired, so I just asked the I asked the architect to act as the manager and create a prompt. So it should have, given that my recommendations, given that, of course, when you're feeling hesitant after a long week, the best path forward is clear, concrete task that builds momentum. Given that, my recommendation is that you work with the webmaster and tasks that the webmaster are straightforward, step by step activities that is often easier and more productive than deep creative work requiring writing a blog post within Vortex. You can save that for when you're feeling more refreshed. Here's the prompt. You can copy it. Hmm. All right, I'm going to paste a prompt into the here in this text box from architect, and I want you to analyze what architect is saying, and then I want you to give me your own recommendation and step number 1 and step number 2, so we can start working. Now we can check on. See, it's still working. Did it solve the problem? No, it's still working. I have no idea how it's going to do this. It's going to be like, well, actually, I can't actually do that. What the hell is this? What the heck? Okay, so Webmaster is totally hallucinating, and I think that you need to review this reply because I didn't do anything. It just decided that the task was done. I don't know, like I don't think it's following the protocol that you recommended. For example, like in the calibration documents and also in like in the actual the different text that we've sent over there, we always have this confirmation. We always have this concept of verification first protocol, which means to locate and confirm, implement the fix, verify it with proof. And in this case, I don't think that Webmaster followed the protocol because it just basically, well, you can read the text. Just know that I did nothing, and it just magically said that the project is finished. So I don't know, like where it is, how it did the work, and how it's possible that it could be hallucinating at this level. All right, so I think we're probably gonna slow down here. It's the internet's going too slowly. Uh, yeah, so we got less than 12 minutes left with this audio recording. So we still got a couple minutes. Oops. Computer's hot. It's using the internet. Everything's slow. Time for a break. Anyways, let's just take a quick look at this. And once this is done, then we can take a little break. Nice. Asking for manual verification. There we go. Cloudflare. Okay, that's good enough for today. We can see that the next step is to set up Cloudflare, set up an account. I just got one other question. Can you quickly explain why we're using Cloudflare and if there are other options for doing this work? And what's the purpose of Cloudflare? Okay, we're using Cloudflare for one reason. It eliminates the financial risk of surprise bills, which giving us a world-class performance for free. Imagine your website is a popular site. Cloudflare acts as both its global delivery system and its security team. Security and performance, their main business. Cloudflare's core service is a global network that sits between your users and your website. It blocks hackers, stops attacks, and keeps copies of your site in warehouses all over the world. So it's incredibly fast for everyone, no matter where they are. The service we're using, Cloudflare Pages, is it's the part where we are setting up now, their service for actually building and serving the website itself, the delivery service. Because their main service is selling high-end security and large companies, they can offer the delivery service part to us at an unbeatable price. Our choice is based on financial risk mitigation, no surprise bills, offers unlimited free bandwidth for our static files. If it exceeds the free limit of our serverless functions, it temporarily pauses the service instead of billing us thousands of dollars. Global speed for free, generous free tier. The other two options are Vercel and Netlify. They're both excellent platforms, but they introduce risks we decided were unacceptable. Vercel, it has a great developer experience, but its free plan prohibits any commercial use. Since our project is a commercial venture, we're using their free plan would be a violation of their terms of service. Their paid plan has usage-based billing, which creates the surprise bill risk. Netlify is the free plan, allows commercial use, but it has a strict bandwidth limit. If one of our blog posts goes viral, our site would be taken offline until the next month or until we upgrade. This is a major risk. In short, Cloudflare is the only platform that allows us to grow popular without fear of either a massive unexpected bill or having our site shut down. Okay, then. So there we go. So in the next video, we're going to be setting up a Cloudflare account. We are going to continue. We're going to do our manually testing of our PDF doc. And next week, we're going to write a blog article. Thank you for joining me at Space Between Ideas. I'm Blaine Gates.